This episode of Dad vs. Daughter was also made possible by a contribution from Sirenscape.
Hi, you're watching Dad vs. Daughter, and Dad is going to do a solo of Tiny Epic Galaxies right outside of Mission Space.
Hi, this is Ben from Sirenscape, and you're watching another awesome episode of Dad vs. Daughter. If you listen really carefully during this episode, you may hear them using the amazing sounds and music of Sirenscape to make their game fantastic. Head over to sirenscape.com, you can download the app for free and give it a try, and then just be awesome.
Hello and welcome to another special episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad, and today I am playing Tiny Epic Galaxies solo. This is a game from Gameland Games, and it is another one of the games in their Tiny Epic line. Now, this game is about space exploration. So in the solo game, what we're going to be doing is going up against the Rogue Galaxy, and I'll talk about them in a minute. But basically what we want to do is we want to race and beat them to 21 points. And the way we get the points is by colonizing planets. You'll see we have 4 planets up here. You always add 2 plus the number of players. So since this is a solo game and we have another, this player over here, we add 2 more, so we have 4. Now, the way the planets work is we will roll dice for actions, and we'll have a launch action. And a launch means that we'll take a ship from our home galaxy and we'll go to one of these planets. Now, a lot of times you can land on the planet and you can take this action down here, but I found in the solo game, pretty much what you want to do is you want to get the planets colonized as fast as possible so that you'll get these victory points down here at the bottom. The planets also will give you certain resources, either energy or culture. So this planet, for instance, gives you energy. So whenever we roll a die and the energy action comes up, we will get 1 energy if we have a ship either orbiting or on this planet. This is an economic planet, so we need to roll the economic symbol on our dice in order to further our ship along this track. So once we get all the way around and we get to this point, then we have colonized this planet. We take it and include it into our galaxy, and we draw another card to put in our display up here. So let's take a look at the player cards here. So as usual, I am green, so I am using the green galaxy here, and these cards are double-sided. So if you look on the back, you'll see here's the Rogue Galaxy, and this one is for the medium difficulty level, and I'm playing on the hard one today. So we have a track that goes around here. If we have ships on our galaxy, if we roll the energy symbol, then we'll be able to advance our energy that way. You'll notice it says that we can spend an energy to re-roll dice, and we can use a culture in order to follow what another player has done. In this case, the non-player here. It says upgrade your empire by spending either an energy or a culture, and that's when we have the utilize colony action that comes up on the dice. So let's look at our actual galaxy here and see what we can get. We start off here, and that means that we have 2 ships that we're going to be using, and they'll be upright on our galaxy. The number of dice that we can use, so we start off and roll 4 dice, and then the number of victory points that we will get at the end of the game. So when you start off, you don't get any, but then you progress along the track, and you spend energy to evolve your galaxy. So when I am here, I need to spend and utilize the colony action, spend 2 energy, and I can move up to that space. I'm still only with 2 ships, but now I'm rolling 5 dice, and I've gained a victory point. And as you can see, the numbers go all the way up to 6. The dice will increase from 5 to 6 all the way up to 7, and the victory points go all the way up to 8. Now let's take a look at my enemy here. This is the Rogue Galaxy, and I am playing on the hard level here. This is the Hades Galaxy, and I wonder if they chose red to kind of go along with Hades. I don't know, just speculation here. This tells us that if he gets to 21 points, he wins. If he advances his colony track all the way up to here, he wins. We can spend 1 energy and 1 culture to re-roll 1 of his dice. And he's going to be rolling his dice 1 at a time, whereas we will roll all of our dice at the same time. Now his track is much shorter. His only goes up to 5, whereas ours goes up to 7. So whenever he has his energy or his culture go up here, then certain things happen. For instance, when he gets and maxes out his energy, then he is able to move, just like us, advance his colony, so he will move up another slot. If he maxes his culture, then he's going to get another turn, and he's going to be able to roll 3 dice and take those actions. And there's a little bit of the rules around that, so when that occurs, and it will happen quite often, I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. Also, when he rolls the utilize colony action, he actually attacks us. And depending on where his colony level is at, that's where these come in. These are the different attacks that he's going to do against us. So, and I'll talk about those when that time comes as well. The last card to look at is our Activation Bay card, and this is where we place the dice. So we have a maximum of 7 dice that we can use, and this tells you what each of the faces of the dice represent. So we get a little closer and you can see those there. And that's exactly what the dice look like. So the first one is move a ship, then advance economy, advance diplomacy, acquire culture, acquire energy, and utilize colony. Now, when we can't or he can't use a die, then we just place it in this central area to show that it's not being used. We also have this converter here, which means that if we have at least 3 dice left and we can't re-roll them, or we choose not to re-roll them, that we can place 2 dice here and we can convert a 3rd die to any face that we want. Now, we start off, like I said, with 2 ships in our home galaxy. And we put our marker on the first spot at our colony. We start off with 1 culture and 2 energy, and then we will get the ships at level 3 and at level 5. Our Rogue Galaxy actually starts with all 4 of his ships. He starts on the first spot of his colony, but he does not start with any culture or energy, and he's going to be acquiring that fast enough, so we really don't have to worry about that too much. Now, as I said when I pointed at the card, we start off with 4 dice. He's going to actually start off with 5 dice, so I've got that little dice there as a reminder. Now, if you also listen close during this episode, you're going to hear the sounds from Sirenscape. We have a few of the space-themed ones that we're going to be using. I'll talk more about that at the end of our episode. Okay, so we are ready to go. I will point out that the box lid here also doubles as a dice tray, so that's kind of neat. So I start off with 4 dice, so let's go ahead and see what we get. I roll all mine at the same time. So this is not the greatest of rolls. I will go ahead and take the energy action, and I'll get 2 energy because my home galaxy provides energy for each ship that I have there. So since I have 2, I'll get 2 energy. The rest of these don't do me a bit of good, so I'm going to go ahead and re-roll these. This is my free re-roll. So I do have launch a ship, so I'll launch this guy. And let's go for this planet here, this Sargus 36, yeah. So we'll go there. We'll use our acquire culture and move our culture up 1 because this is a culture planet. I guess that puts us part of the culture club. You know, I'll tumble for you. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is utilize our colony action. It will cost us 2 energy to move up, so we do that. We knock our energy back down to level 2, and on the next turn I'll actually be able to roll 5 dice. So now it's his turn. He cannot use the advanced economy because he's not on any planets yet. Energy. He will, however, get energy. So since his home galaxy generates both energy and culture, and he's got 4 ships there, he is already at 4 energy. Now he has culture, same thing, so he will be on 4 culture. The advanced diplomacy doesn't do any good, and advanced economy doesn't do any good. So, not too shabby. It's hard for him to do anything when he's not on any planets. So, we'll roll ours. Okay. So, let's go ahead and let's launch a ship here. And we're going to go to this planet here, Zavodnik. We will advance diplomacy, so we'll move to the 1 track there. We'll advance economy. Whoops, I had that backwards. We'll use the 1 advanced diplomacy for here, use the 1 advanced economy here. This does not help me, and I could get 1 energy, which I think I will go ahead and I'll use that, and that'll put me up to 3. Then I'm going to re-roll this because I don't have any other ships to launch. And I have the utilize colony action. It's going to require 3 energy to advance, which I happen to have. So I'll just take that off my board. I'll move that up. And now I automatically move this ship to the ready stage here in my galaxy. So that's my turn. We'll see what he does. He rolls 1 at a time. Doesn't help him. Energy. Okay, so he is going to max out his energy. He has move a ship, so he will launch this ship, and that's going to go to this Zavodnik planet. Whoops, he goes right there. And he will launch another ship. And that ship is going to go here to Jorg. And then finally, he has launched another ship, and he will go to Vicky KS-156. Now, if I wanted to, I could have followed, but there's nothing really there that I want. I'm probably going to use my follow abilities when I can advance my my colonization. So it comes back to me now. All right, so I've got some things here I'm not really wild about. Let's go ahead and we'll advance diplomacy on this planet there. I could get culture and energy if I wanted. I could get 2 energy, which I think I will, since I don't have any energy. Oh, one other thing I did forget, because he did max his energy out, he does advance his colony. So, no effect on the gameplay there. Well, for not remembering it. Let's go ahead and let's advance culture by 1. And I'm going to re-roll these other 2. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I will launch this ship off, and I'll launch it over to here onto Jorg, and I have an advanced colony. Unfortunately, I need 4, so actually I'm not even able to use that. Now, when I start acquiring these planets into my galaxy, then instead of using that to advance my colony, I can use it to perform these actions on these planets. All right, now his turn. He has advanced economy, so he's on 2, so this one will advance 1, and this one will advance 1. And I think I will pay a culture, so knock me down to 2, and I will advance my ship here. Okay, same thing. So now he's going to actually acquire this planet. His ship goes back to his home galaxy, so he is at 1 point there. We'll draw a new card. And he will advance his ship here to number 2. And I'm going to use another culture, and I'm going to follow that to put my ship on number 3. Alright, so he's going to launch a ship. And he's going to go over here to this 7-pointer. Okay, advanced diplomacy. So he'll advance this ship, and he will advance that ship. At this time, I'm not going to follow. So roll his final die, and he has an attack. And now it says he steals 2 energy. And unfortunately, I have 2 energy for him to steal. So he will go on the 2 energy track. His culture, I believe, was on 4. So put that back there. So that's his turn. So we're still rolling 5 dice. Okay, so we're going to advance diplomacy 3 spaces. So that will go 1, 2, 3, and we will capture or colonize this planet. So this planet now will go down here, and we'll have the ability to use that on our utilized colony. Put another card out. I could get some energy. But he's actually to the point now where his level of colony is stealing my energy, so I don't think I want to do that. So I think what I'll go ahead and do is, I do want to get a shot at that 7-point planet. So let's go ahead and launch this ship. And we're going to re-roll this one. And launch a ship, which is not going to do us any good. So back to him. He has advanced economy. So he's only going to advance on that. I'm going to go ahead and pay that last culture just so I can advance 1 as well. Try to stay ahead of him here. Advanced diplomacy. Whoops. So he will advance here and advance here. He'll launch a ship. And he'll launch on this last planet. Advance economy. Oh, this is not good. So he's going to advance there. Whoops. And he will advance there. And unfortunately, I'm out of culture, so I can't follow. So we do not want this to be an advanced economy. And we get energy. So he's going to get 1, 2 energy. So that puts him up to 4 for both. All right, back to me. So we want economy. So we have 1 economy there, which is going to be good. So we use advanced economy. That'll move our ship to there. Now, since we're both there, we both go back to our home galaxies. And we get this 5-pointer. Let's see if I can get this under my card here without making a mess. There we go. Flip a new ship up, or a new planet up, I mean. So let's see, what do we have for our colony here? I can pay 1 energy to a player to utilize one of their colonized planets, and they never use this, they're just collecting those for points. Or I can perform any 1 action, all other players may follow that action for free. That's not really that great, so I don't think we're going to be looking to do that. So I could acquire 1 culture, which I think I will, just because I need that to follow, and he's not stealing that. I'll go ahead and I'll use this to advance diplomacy. I'm going to go ahead and advance on the 7-point planet. I'm not going to worry about getting that 2 energy right now, so I'm going to go ahead and re-roll these. And I do have move a ship, so I'll launch a ship. And let's go ahead and let's go here just because we don't have any on the economy. And I will move 1 on the economy track there. So that's my turn. He has advanced economy, so he will move 1 spot there. Culture, so he will get 1, 2, 3 culture, which maxes him out. He can't use that because his culture is already maxed out. Advanced diplomacy, so he'll advance there and there. And he cannot use that. So now that he's maxed out his culture, he will get to roll an additional 3 dice. And his culture stays there, so he is going to advance here, which will allow him to colonize that planet. Okay, he's going to attack, and his attack is that he steals 2 energy, but we don't have any energy for him to steal, so nothing happens there. And he will activate energy. So, or he will acquire energy, so he'll get actually 3, which will max this out. So by maxing that out, he will move up, and now his new attack is that he steals 2 culture, and we've done the culture bonus, so now it's back to us. Okay, not the greatest of dice rolls here. I think he's gonna get that planet before we can do it, so we're gonna focus on that 7-pointer. So let's go ahead and advance diplomacy there. Oops, moves us to 2. Let's go ahead and, well, all those ships, or all those planets are diplomacy ones. He's no longer stealing our energy, so let's go ahead and let's acquire some energy. So 1, 2 energy for us. And I'm going to re-roll these. Okay, so let's go ahead and advance 2 on the diplomacy track. So that's going to take us to 4 here. And we can use the culture. So we'll get 1 culture. So we just don't want him to steal our culture. Okay, his turn, he is going to get energy. So he's only going to get 3 energy this turn because he's on a, he's got 1 ship on a culture planet. Culture, he's going to get 3 culture. And that's what we did not want to see. So he is actually going to colonize that planet. So our ship comes back. He is now got 6 points in planets. And we have to move this one. Okay, he's going to get more culture. Now he's going to get 3 culture, which will max his culture out. This is not good. And he is going to launch a ship. So he will launch over to here to Jax. Almost thought that was Jakku, like in the latest Star Wars movie. Okay, so now he's going to get his 3 dice bonus for his maxing of his culture. So unfortunately, he rolls an attack, which is going to steal 2 culture from me. Since he's maxed out, he's not going to acquire any new culture, but and I don't know if this is right or not, but this is the way I've always played it. If he can steal the amount that his attack allows him to, then I lose that. So I'm going to pay, or I'm going to lose that. He has diplomacy, so actually, or economy, so there's no economic planets. And whoops, so he doesn't use those 2. So back to me. I really want to get diplomacy. And not looking pretty here. In fact, I don't like any of those, so I'm just going to re-roll all of them. Give them a good shake. Okay. So we do have 1 advanced diplomacy, which is nice. I'm going to use these 2 cultures. I'm going to convert them and use it to convert this power to another advanced diplomacy so I can get that 7-point planet. And that gives me 17 points, and I look and see I've got a total of 19. So I only need 2 more points to beat him. See if I can get this under there. There we go. And the good thing about this planet here is it allows me to advance a ship 1 space. So flip a new planet over. So I only need 2. So let's go ahead and let's launch a ship here. And let's just go to this planet here. This is La Torres. Okay, so that was my turn. Back to him. And he advances diplomacy. Fortunately, that's only a 1-pointer. He advances diplomacy again, which means he colonizes that planet. And that puts him at 6. So he's at 10. Economic doesn't help him. Okay, he attacks and he steals 2 culture, which I have none to steal, so he does not actually even get that. And he has diplomacy, which he doesn't have any ships, so he can't use it, which means I can't follow, but I don't have any culture anyway. So back to me. So we really want some culture here. And it's not looking good. So I think what I'll do, there is an economic planet. You know what, let's do that. Let's launch a ship and let's go to Nagato. So we'll go to Nagato. We will advance. We're going to basically use all 3 of these, and that will advance us 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we will use our colony action here, which says advance a ship 1. So we are going to advance this ship and we will colonize that planet. And that puts us at 22 points. So we win. So hand Dad the trophy. All right, well, it feels good to beat the guy on the hard level. The first time I played hard level, I think I played 7 straight games and always lost because he was always able to max out his colony there. But in the last 2 games that I've played of this, I've beat him on hard. The only thing I've not played is the last difficulty level, and I'll save that for next time after I start defeating the hard on a regular basis. So since I'm still down, I'm not going to worry about that. But and normally, since this is a game that I already have in my collection, I don't usually give reviews, but I will give one in this case. So let's get to what I think. Okay, I really like this game. This is a good game that for solo or with any player count. Played this with the guys at work. We can play it over at lunch. When you get to the 4 or 5 player mark, it's a little tough to complete. But in a 3-player game, you know, and especially in a 2-player game, we can definitely finish in lunch without any problem. All the guys in my game group that play this have really liked it. Don't really have any knocks against the game. The quality of the components are really nice. The ships and the little markers, they're all wooden, and there is green and there is blue for when Megan and I sit down and play this together. The dice are really kind of cool. Give you a little close-up there. They kind of have this, I don't know, that kind of like a little spacey look. If you see, there's like space clouds or whatever that's on these. At first I thought they were just dirty dice. I'm like, oh, there's kind of maybe a rhyme and reason to how those look. But these are really nice. Having the dice tray in the lid, and this is a real thick cardboard box, so that's nice. Using all the dice there. Didn't use all 7 dice, but that's okay. I'm not going to get into the other stuff that you use in a multiplayer game. I'm going to save that for when Megan and I sit down and do a true dad versus daughter on that. But I did want to just kind of briefly talk about these things. The only other thing to talk about really is the card stock. I mean, the card on these and the cards that you play are really about the same thickness-wise. They're excellent cards. This is a high-quality card here. Really like those. And that really is it. That is Tiny Epic Galaxies. Like I said, it plays really good solo, plays good multiplayer. Check it out, and we will catch you guys next time. But before you leave, stay tuned, because right now I'm going to talk about Sirenscape, and in particular some of the space packages that we used during this filming. Okay, if you watched my solo play of Xenoshift, you saw that I used Sirenscape for some background sound effects and some music to really kind of put you in the mood. I did the same thing with this one. I have the wormhole pack here, and you might have heard some things. This is Meditation in Space. This is just kind of some nice little background music here. Just kind of gives you that floating sensation. Whenever I launch the ship, I use the probe launch here. There is a distress signal. This is a failed distress. You've got a computer here, female computer. You got a tachyon scanner. And you have subspace field. And then of course we have our basic ones down here. We have a distress signal. We have a scanner. And if we would have had actual ship combat, here is a capital ship gun, which is really cool. We have explosions. But this wasn't the type of game where we were going to have that. We have, what we got here? Blaster impact. We have a laser shot. We have the ubiquitous Wilhelm scream. Oh. And we have a flamethrower. But the wormhole, there's some other sounds here. We have caught in the gravity pull. So you can start hearing the ship getting pulled in. Curiosity killed the space vessel. This is when it's getting a little bit more damaged. And having that computer voice in the background, that really does help put you in the mood. Like I said, we didn't use them on this game because Tiny Epic Galaxies, we weren't really needing that, but you know, just to have some different background music or different sounds. It all really depends on what game you're playing. There's the calm after the storm, and then through the vortex here. And I mentioned this before, but one of the great things about Sirenscape is all of it just kind of merges together. So as you're playing the game and you start selecting certain ones of these, they just kind of all go together to make it a very smooth transition. Now, a couple of the other space theme ones that they have Space Dock here, and this again is totally different than what the other one was. This is more of a, you know, you're on a space station, or you're in, you know, the launch area of a ship here. So you start hearing, you know, like sounds being welded, and we have ready for launch. Start hearing the ship engines gearing up. More of that background atmosphere of a busy flight deck. You have cargo ships. Sounds like these big ships that are coming in to land. And then you have retrofit in progress. So you hear a lot of machinery type of sounds. And even one thing says electric shocks and welding sparks. Now, when I was playing this before, and I was telling you about I played all these games and I lost, a lot of times I use this Nebula one, and there's a little bit of overlap with that wormhole one. Here's the meditation in space that you heard. Here's a space anomaly. Gets a little bit different. And you'll notice that these sounds over here are a little different. Here's alien life form. You have your space warp. Supernova. And your dark matter. Now these are probably a little hard to hear because of the other sounds that are going on in the background. So let's talk about those more. We got falling stars here. We've got solar orbit. We got meteor shower. So you can start hearing the meteors like they're hitting the hull of the ship, or just kind of going by as big flaming rocks. And you have your debris field. I like this. It says hull scrapes and vibrations. And finally, I'll show you this. This is the shipboard one. So we have in spaceport here. So this is just kind of a very quiet, you know, you kind of hear some droids in the background, like R2-D2 beeping and everything. You're cruising in open space. You have a busy on the bridge. And again, once you see the sliders adjusting accordingly. So you start hearing more of the droid sounds as they're doing stuff. And then all's quiet on board, which is really just very faint sound. We have just a few things here. What is that? That says, I can't really read what that says. Oh, a big ship is close. I don't know if you can hear that very well. You have your alert sound. That's kind of cool. And then you have talking with R3 instead of R2. And like the other ones, you got your same sounds down here. But that pretty much is it for those. Like I said, Sirenscape is great to kind of put you in the mood when you're playing these games. So we look forward to using these on future videos. So let's just kind of sign out here with the Alien Cantina.
Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.